Hello everyone, welcome back to Museum Madness. In this episode, after we dismiss Mick for being more worrisome than C-3PO, we're going to go back to our last two exhibits, both of which have to do with history. The first of which is Galileo's telescope. This is one of the more adventure game-like exhibits. As such, it's also one of the most enjoyable exhibits in the game. It's reused music, unfortunately, but aside from that, the puzzles are all decent anyway. Oh hey, we just got hit in the head with an orange. But yeah, Galileo's doing experiments with gravity, and yeah. Yes, it's fortunate that we weren't hit with a watermelon instead, but oh well. What can you tell us, Galileo? Yeah, we're, okay, so you haven't built your telescope yet. Okay, so what else? Okay, so you've been experimenting with gravity and putting together a thermoscope. Sweet. So, we have to get some writings that will refresh his memory. In the meantime, we can take a look at his thermoscope here. Well, he calls it a thermoscope, but as what we would call it nowadays is a thermometer. Basically, it measures the temperature of the air by having the liquid in the flask change volume depending on the heat around it. So he lets us take the thermoscope with us. Pretty sweet, huh? And he lets us take the orange, too. Both good things. But he won't invent his telescope until we've refreshed his memory on the actual doings of planetary bodies. Let's talk to this fellow here. The shelf near the globe, okay? Where's the globe? Uh-oh. That sounds suspiciously like a maze. And guess what? It is. This is the most confusing maze in the game. It's not randomized, but there's literally only one thing that you need to find in here. The shelf with the book about astronomy. But it's really hard to find. And thankfully there are plenty of landmarks that you can kind of navigate your way by. But aside from that, pretty much any chance that you have of doing this quickly relies on having a good memory. Sort of remembering where things are. I think the different little displays are meant to signify different sorts of exhibits, but it's kind of hard to tell. There's the globe. And that should be the book about astronomy. Sweet. Now, this, like I said, this is the most complex maze in the game, but it's not the hardest because unlike the one in the ship at Ellis Island, you're not under any sort of time constraints, so you can take your time going through looking at all the different shelves and figuring out where you need to go. And thankfully, that didn't take us very long. Alright, we have the book that we needed. Yeah, so do I. I wouldn't mind being in a library that big. Anyway, let's move on over here real quick and see what's, No, never mind. Let's go back to Galileo and give him this book. That other guy probably isn't important. Hey, what's up? Alright, so he's gonna take a look at the book and ponder it over. Let's try this pendulum out. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, so he'll build a telescope if we can find the plans and materials for him. You'll have to figure that... Oh, come on now. Alright, so now it's a fetch quest. We've got to find all the materials for the telescope as well as the blueprints for them which lets us know exactly what we need. And we can stop by this guy and have a chat with him first. Okay, so we have a problem to solve from this guy. Drawing on a new telescope? Alright, well, let's take a look. Maybe this will help us figure out what we need to use to build it. Okay, so this is talking about the refractive and reflective indexes for different lenses. And what it's saying is that light that comes in through a single lens will be inverted on the other side. So everything that, when you look through something with a single lens that's not only curved on one side, will be upside down when it emerges on the other side. So how can we fix a problem like that? We want the image to be right side up when we look at it. So let's take a look at what he's got drawn up on the board that'll give us a right side up image when he looks through the telescope. There have to be an even number of lenses, because one lens only inverts it once. So that means from here to here, the image will still be upside down, but from here to here, it'll be right side up. So we need to select the design with the even number, or multiple of 2, whatever you want to say. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the image here should be right side up then. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this one. Okay, so Mr. Lippershey. Let's take the paper that he gives us with the designs for the telescope and move on. Because we still have to find the materials to build the telescope. The plans alone aren't going to be enough. So this area has a bunch of shopkeepers. It's a bazaar, I guess you could say, and no. So this guy is in charge of the, I guess, weaving area, and he weaves things like handkerchiefs. But he's hungry, so let's give him an orange. Aha, and for the orange he gives us a handkerchief, which is some of his finest workmanship, he says. Let's talk to this fellow over here. He's trying to finish the lenses on the pair of spectacles. But he needs a little bit more light. Well, we can't help him there, can we? This metal shop produces the finest metal tubing. Scientific instruments, huh? Well, we have one of those. Galileo lent it to us, but I'm sure he won't mind. Alright, so in exchange for the thermoscope, he gives us some metal tubing, which will definitely be of use. Hey, this guy sells candles. What do we get? So he pines for the finer things in life. So let's give him the lace handkerchief that we got from the other dude. I'm sure he'll enjoy that. In exchange, he'll give us a candle. And with that candle, we can then give it to this guy to illuminate his workbench. And he can finish his work, and he gives us some lenses that we can make use of. Because since spectacles have 2 lenses, old-fashioned spectacles aren't like modern-day glasses. They don't work quite as well, but with 2 lenses, that should be more than enough to get them to work properly for a telescope. Let's head back to Galileo and drop off our stuff. Alright, here, let me give you the plans. Yes, I know. I know we don't have everything. Here's the metal tube. And how about these, some lenses? All right. And while he's working, we click on the pendulum to make time pass. And by the time it's finished, he's done. Yep, so he's going to go up to the roof and examine the stars, while we remain here and return back to the main hall to finish our last exhibit. The Industrial Revolution, folks. Let's go. Now, after following up that last exhibit, which was a decent exhibit with a lot of pretty good little interaction puzzles, but yeah, we're going to follow that up with an exhibit that's almost entirely devoted to puzzles. Yeah. And not even fun puzzles. These are the grindy kind of puzzles. These are the ones that are that'll annoy you. Because the puzzles in this area are all these paper puzzles that are really hard to decipher what's what, because everything's all black and everything's all on the same flat background. Unlike the earlier puzzles where we had gradients that we could kind of decipher to figure out what went where, in this you have to look at the machine, examine it, and be able to basically reconstruct it from its parts. And not all of these machines are all that easy to decipher either, because they don't look like much more than a bunch of, well, parts. Let's see what this one actually is. Mix says it's a nifty diagram, but there's still something missing. So let's move on to something else. Well, this is actually some machine parts. I think this picture on the wall shows us what it's supposed to be. Yep. I believe this is a mechanical loom, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at it and see if we can get it put back together. So yeah, this is the plans in the background, and these are the parts that we actually have to use to get them to fit in proper places. So yeah. Go this one and this one. Easy enough. And then we can start the machine. Oh, poor thing, it doesn't have enough frames. But yeah, I think that is a mechanical loom used to weave fabric IIRC during the Industrial Revolution. Yeah, so we can, whoops. Grab that before we... Nope. Too late. Oh well. Alright, and this one... This is a steam engine. And we have to reconstruct it, obviously. None of these puzzles are particularly difficult, but they are a little bit tedious because it's just, you know, picking up parts, slapping them back down, picking up parts, slapping them back down. There we go. That one still seems like it's missing quite a few bits. Oh well. It's working, isn't it? More than a steam engine, it's one of the first locomotives. Let's head back towards the first exhibit. Yeah, there's a part here that I missed. I was supposed to pick that up before. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. I can't remember. Is there a Part 4? I don't remember. I guess there is. Oh, sorry about that. Apparently somebody wants to get a hold of me for some reason. But I'm in the middle of recording. I can't be bothered right now. We'll talk later. So this, I don't remember. This is another engine, but I don't remember what it's powering. Let's check the information here. Ah, the first internal combustion engine. So not a steam engine. It's more like a modern motor. Of course, it's much bigger than any modern motor, but you know, whatever. There. There we go. What else are we... Oh, yeah, we need this part. Oh, here. See, I thought that was part of the diagram. Whatever. There we go. Yeah, I wouldn't advise making a go-kart from an engine that large. Of course, considering it's only one cylinder, it probably wouldn't go very fast. Just saying. Be like, what? A 2cc engine? Make your go-kart go about as fast as most people can walk, so yeah. No big deal. Well, let's head back to the first room and get this thing put together. Remember, it's got to look like this. I believe this is a mechanical pump. Looking at it again. A pump or a well of some kind? Or just a steam engine. Yeah, see? Used to pump water for mines. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Alright, let's take a look here. That's self-explanatory, 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 and self-explanatory. So some parts of the diagram are there, but not all of them. Whatever. Alright. But that's the last exhibit. Haven't we finished everything? Hang on a second. Something's missing. You're right, kid. It's Mick. We found ourselves a blank tape. Huh. But who uses cassette tapes anymore? Oh well, that'll have to be a mystery that we solve next time on Let's Play Museum Madness. See you guys later, folks.